Hi, and welcome back to Missouri Crooked Barn Homestead, formerly Cheyenne, Wyoming Urban Gardener. This is Debbie. We are finished with tilling at least the first round of the garden, and now you can see just how big this garden is really going to be. We've already started putting up the posts for the new fence. You can see we have some amendments over there that we'll be putting in, and as you can see, there's a chicken out there walking around. That's the reason for the fence. Not really for deer or anything. We do have deer around here, but they mostly stay, we've noticed, down near the ponds. There are some raccoons here and things like that. So we are going to actually be putting chicken wire all around the perimeter of the outside of the garden. And we're going to be putting it up. We've got 6-foot posts. So we have 4-foot chicken wire. And hopefully that'll be enough to deter, at least for this first year, before we get into putting a heavier type of fence. But I haven't really seen any raccoons so far. Of course, a garden may draw them in. I haven't really seen the deer. We haven't seen any tracks or anything since we've been tilling. So I think we're going to be okay. But the chickens are the main culprit that are in the garden. As you can see, it's not really they're not too destructive, except for they want a dust bath in the garden. It has been dry for a few days. We had a lot of rain and then it dried off, so the garden right now is a little bit dried out. And that works good for me because that way the weeds will die down. So we have gotten most of the garden is tilled, but of course, in just, well, how lawn equipment works and garden equipment works, the tiller broke down again. We just got it back from the shop yesterday. We had 2 belts break on it. And then today, right at the very last till of the garden, right here at the very end, the pin that goes into the wheel broke. So that means that it will not turn right now. So we have to get a pin to go back into the tiller on that wheel. And then it'll start working again, but at least we got it finished. So here we have the garden. It is very large. Our house is about 48 feet long. And it surpasses that. It's about 60 feet, I think, maybe 75. And about 40 feet wide, maybe a little bit more. So we have quite a sized garden here. And of course, we're going to have other smaller plots for strawberries and for berry bushes and for our orchard. Our orchard's going to go in a separate area. But we get quite a lot of sun here, except for this area right here. We've got a tree that shades, and I think that's where I'll put my lettuce and some other things that don't need the direct sun so much. So we'll get some of that going in there, but we get quite good morning sun in here, as well as all day sun. This is on the north side, but of course it's getting all sides since we don't have anything but the house over there. So looking good. The ground is nice and tilled up. We got all the rocks out of here, what rocks there were. This actually does not have very many rocks at all. So let me show you what the rock situation is in northern Missouri. We are in northern Missouri, basically right smack dab in the middle of the state, but in the north. So the rocks equate to about fist size, sometimes a little bit larger, and they're just here and there. They're not really very large. Here's one, and here's another one, and this is a larger one here. Oh, looks like we got one little spot left and we need to till here. But we have about a 12 to 18 inch base that's nice and soft on most of this. There wasn't any crazy amount of weeds, just mostly grass, and it was not Bermuda grass, it was just regular grass. So that'll die off pretty quickly. We'll probably have to go one more pass over the garden with the tiller. And then we're gonna rake it up. Whatever weeds that are left behind, we'll get those raked up. We did find a little bit of some trash in here from the previous people that were here, and they were probably using this as a burn location for trash, which is fine. That means some biochar is in here, but we do have to get some of this plastic up. And then there's a couple more rocks. So we still have a little bit of a pass through to make on getting the rest of these rocks up. And then we will be good to go on how the garden looks and the soil looks and all of that. So we have finally got the garden tilled up. Here's what I use for amendments. Not anything serious. This year I did not do any compost because this garden is already nice and rich dirt. And it does have a little bit of some clay in it in certain sections. So adding compost to something that you already have clay in can actually be detrimental. It can cause more clay to happen in the soil. So you have to put something to break it up a little bit. So what I'm using is just garden soil and potting soil. And as you can see, it is my tried and true preference of soil. This is Master Garden soil. You can get that at Menards. I'm not sure if you can get it in any other locations, but it's a nice soil that is does not have a lot of sticks and big pieces. It's mostly small pieces. It's already sifted. So we use that in here. And then here's my posts for my perimeter fence. We're going to put T-posts every 8 feet. And then our corner posts were a little bit larger. And then there is our chicken wire. We have 300 feet of chicken wire to go around this garden. So we may have a little bit left over so we can make a small area for the chickens. Just a lot in case we need to lock them up. So there we have it. And please forgive the trash pile over there. It's mostly cardboard boxes that we do have to figure out the burning situation here because we don't really have landfills that we found in Milan. So we need to look and see what we can do about trash situation if we don't have to burn it. We don't like to burn, so we are looking into different options there. So here we have all of the soil in the garden. As you can see, it is a very large garden and it is very level. So we are very happy with that. This actually was an area where there was a very, very large chicken coop here before, and a place for horses. So we have horse manure in there and chicken poo all throughout the garden that we've tilled in as well. And just a whole lot of organic matter that was found in here. And we did have a little bit of some steel, some doorposts and things like that that were probably left over from the previous buildings, and a little bit of glass. So we've had to get some of the glass out of here and some of those steel pieces. We did find like some pliers and stuff like that. When you're out in the country, people use whatever they can to dispose of their trash, and unfortunately sometimes that is the soil. But we do have our garden here. Here is the corner posts we have started working on, and we look forward to sharing all of the highlights and all of the things going on with us making this place a homestead. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for notices on new videos as they come out, and we will see you in the next one.